Hi everybody, welcome back to Majestic Collectibles. So I just wanted to do a quick follow up here to my least liked, least popular video I've ever done, which was the one about why don't dealers pay more for collections kind of thing. And I appreciate actually your guys' restraint because, nobody really actually nuked me. So I was happy about that. So I have some really, really nice listeners, even if they don't necessarily like what I have to say. I do appreciate that. I just wanted to do a quick follow up on that. First, I've got QuadCon Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, coming up April 19th. It's one day only. That's a Saturday before Easter. If you happen to be in the Sioux Falls area, stop by and say hi. It's at the Ramkota Inn. Won't have another show until Memorial Day weekend right now. Shows, I don't know. My show schedules are not coming together for 2025 like they have in the past. I don't know why that is. I honestly don't. So, I'll keep you informed. But next one. Let's see. By the time you see this, it's probably going to be six weeks, or pretty close to it. Anyway, so what I did after some of the feedback conversation with that video about dealers paying for things, I thought, I'm just going to put in kind of a dollars and cents term, and this applies to me. I can't speak for any other dealers or anything, of course, but I just wanted to give you a breakdown of kind of. Well, this is pretty much my stuff. I did round a little bit to make the numbers come out, but very, very little. So in other words, if it came out to be 21%, I put 20. If it was 19%, I put 20. So might be off by a little bit, but not much. So what I did, so for every dollar in sales that I have, here's what's come out of it. So we got eBay, 25 cents. And what's next? Shows Cons, 15 cents. Antique Mall, 15 cents. Overhead, 10 cents. That leaves 35 cents left out of every dollar I take in for sales. So then I put inventory cost. And that generally runs about 20% or 20 cents of every dollar of revenue I have come in, which sounds like, wow, I'm making an 80% markup on inventory. I guess technically, yeah, but not really because of all this other stuff. So that leaves me, after that 20 cents is at about 15 cents out of every dollar is profit. Now, if you break that down, so I did this here, if I sell $300,000 a year in gross sales times 15 cents, it's about $45,000 a year in gross take home, and those percentages are pretty much spot on. Now I don't have a brick and mortar, so I can't really talk about that. I mentioned a little bit. It's going to be about $42,000 a year right here in Ankeny, Iowa, for a strip mall. That seems to be the low rate, is about $3,500 bucks a month or so. And it only goes up from there. And so, the cost structure, depending on how you sell, could make a big difference, right? You could take that eBay out, but you'd be replacing it with lease payments, employee overhead, things like that. They have a way of balancing out no matter how you slice up the pie. The percentages are probably going to be really close. Some difference makers, if you own your building and all you have is say, monthly overhead like utilities and things, you don't have a lease payment. You will have maintenance, of course, especially if you got a flat roof. So, there are some differences. And one of the things here, do I have to sell on eBay? Yeah, pretty much I do, because I'm in a very small market, limited market. But, if I take eBay out and I add shows, it kind of balances out because my show cost is going to go up even if I don't do eBay. And what you're seeing here is what's going on. This is why I mentioned before, I think 2025 is going to be a tough year for dealers, especially brick and mortar guys. During COVID, everything stopped. Revenue stopped. Sales stopped. Customers stopped. Couldn't even be open in some places, depending where you're at. Problem is the bills did not stop. Those keep coming. If you lease something, overhead, utilities, whatever, those come whether you're selling anything or not, or you're open or not. This year, we've seen this slow down, with inflation, and things have slowed down, and now the current tariff situation, depending, what market you're in and what you're selling, may not affect resellers as much as new sellers. But like the local LCS comic store, a lot of the products printed in Canada and imported, that's going to change the cost structure if that doesn't get rectified. And just when things get up in price, people have to adjust their spending. And fun stuff, it's just not a priority. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And on this 20% here on this inventory cost. So when I look at a collection, I have to figure my cost structure in, because even a little difference, say my sales dropped, say that $300,000 sales dropped by $75,000 in 2024. Gosh, do you remember that video? Because that's what happened to me. All of a sudden, that $45,000 pretty much disappeared, right? I mean, you're basically working for free. You've got all the costs, all the efforts, and things like that. So when sales drop, it doesn't even have to be super severe. All of a sudden, it gets really, really hard to pay the bills. And if the cost of those bills, utilities, if you got to renegotiate the lease because your lease is up, whatever it is, the dealers, resellers, none of us are immune to these market forces, and we end up getting pinched in the middle. Would I love to pay more for your collection? I actually would, but it comes down to literally dollars and cents. And I know that sounds very mercenary, and it is. But if we go out of business, if the resellers go out, if the LCS goes out, whatever it is, you're going to have to market all of this stuff yourself. You're going to have to put all the time into it, the expense into it. You're going to have to learn, and it's a steep learning curve, okay? Especially if you're dealing with higher end stuff, whatever it is. It's just not as simple as you might think. So I don't want to belabor this. I don't plan any more videos on this. So I guess take your cheap shots at me now, whatever trips your trigger. But the reality of the business side of the reseller situation, we don't have a lot of money to play with. So if I have that 20 cents out of every dollar to go buy inventory, I really have to be picky and choosy, right? I mean, why would I tie up that tight of a amount of money and spend it on a bunch of stuff that is not going to sell well, that is not going to be profitable, that I have to store, or that I have to deal with in some way and hope it doesn't deteriorate, or whatever the situation is. This is why, and it's not just me, this is why a lot of dealers and resellers, we would love to have this. It just doesn't make sense. And if you want to have that access or that outlet to somebody like me, we're going to have to make money. It's just that simple. So I also figured it out. At about $500,000 a year, obviously that'll double. You're taking home about $90,000. But there's not a lot of folks, resellers, even your local comic shops, and collectible stores and things. $500,000 in revenue, brick and mortar or online, is not easy to achieve. You're not going to do that buying and selling 50-cent and dollar comics very quick. Now, you can move a lot of them. I'm not saying that. But if you really want to hit that $250,000 a year mark as a reseller, or even as a small business of any type, okay, you are going to have to control your costs because it's really, really, really hard to get to that sales level. And it always seems like once you get to your target sales level, something dumb happens. COVID, things were okay before that, and then COVID came along, and look how many small businesses closed, from restaurants, to whatever. And then now today, I think it's even harder to run any type of small brick and mortar business if you have to hire employees. I don't know what it is where you're at. I'm still seeing almost everywhere now hiring signs. We got lighted billboards along the roads with large manufacturers. Here we have Barilla Noodles is just up the road. We have John Deere, which I haven't seen one of their ads. They're unfortunately laying people off right now. But a lot of businesses are just got a sign in the door. So it's been really, really hard to get people to work and show up, and that's just another pressure point, for any type of small business, especially brick and mortar. So there's a lot of moving parts. I don't see a lot of, I don't see resellers. I mentioned this before. Nobody's showing up to a show, in their Mercedes and their BMW. We all drive kind of beat up vehicles and things like that. We really love this stuff. Obviously, you have to. It has to be a passion of some sort, and you do get burned out. And the numbers game is a killer. It is absolutely a killer, because when things slow down, whether it be COVID or whether it be tariffs or just economic, uncertainty of any type, now as a small business, do I take out loans? Do I go into debt just to keep the lights on, or just to keep the employees paid, just to keep me paid? And that's a slippery slope when you start going into debt. For the simple fact of the matter is, you don't know how long this situation is going to last. You don't know if it's going to be a temporary change, a permanent change, anything like that. So there's a lot of risk factors. And I know it may sound weird that I'm turning, this not pay, enough thing into this big old business model plan, but it's a big part of it, guys. It's a huge, huge part, and it's one of the few parts we have just a little bit of control over. I have no control over eBay, what the shows or cons charge. The antique mall is the antique mall, but I don't have any say over that. The overhead, variable overhead, if you have storage units, things like that, you have a little control there. But your fixed overhead, utilities and stuff like that, your internet, whatever it is, lease payments, storage unit payments, no control there. The only thing we have even a little bit of control over is that inventory cost. And after you take all that other stuff out, there's just not a lot of wiggle room. Like I said, I wish there was. This is why if you take it, we've had dealers advertise on their Facebook. I'm not going to name anybody, but they will put up not buying bulk comics, not buying bulk trading cards, not buying large collections. They're just flat out saying no. And I think that's gonna, as the economy tightens up and sales tighten up, I think it's only going to get worse. You're just not going to find a lot of resellers with a lot of extra resources to make purchases right now, especially large purchases. So that's it. That's really kind of the end of my rant on this thing. I'm just trying to explain it, I guess, in fairly simple terms, so maybe you can understand on the dealer side where we're coming from. And again, I'm not condoning bad dealer behavior. Okay, I'm not condoning ripping people off or taking advantage of people. But I do think you need to understand that if it's really common stuff, if it's bulk kind of stuff, it's easy to replace and it's not easy to sell. So it's much easier to buy it than to move it out. And that's kind of where a lot of that's coming in. That's why a lot of resellers, they'll cherry pick it. And this is why I've said, do not let somebody cherry pick your collection, because if it gets cherry picked, boy, you've got a complete just dead weight on your hands, because nobody's going to touch it at that point. Once the good stuff's gone, even in the larger markets, there's just more of that common stuff. So once your collection, whatever it is picked clean, it's still going to be on you to either sell it for next to nothing to somebody like me, or you're really going to have to grind it out for a long, long time at your own cost and expense and time involved to even get close to getting rid of it, because it's just not that easy. So that's it. I've got some more videos coming up. My cover video on the comic cover one got really good conversation and feedback, and so I'm going to do a little more of that. I'm going to do it, I think, with some pulp magazines. That conversation came up in the feed and comment section for that cover one. I thought, well, that's really cool, because I've been a pulp collector for a long time. I don't have any nothing super high end or rare or anything, but I've always enjoyed the art and the cover art. So I think I'm going to go shoot a video on that. And if you noticed, well, that's a poster. Sorry, wrong side. If you noticed, I got one of the blue shelves done. I got the little one done, and the other one I'm going to paint right after this. So if you see me in the next video with blue on my fingers, that's what that is. So hopefully, yay! Hopefully that'll get done really, really soon. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching.